Hi, good afternoon. My name is Christopher Butler. I'm the Assistant Chief of Crimes Against Persons and Investigations. This will be a recap from the events that happened from our officer-involved shooting that happened early in the morning, late last night. On Monday, July 30th, 2012, at about 11:35 p.m., there were 3 employees that had finished work and they were in the parking lot of the Olive Garden, which is located at 13,040 City Station Drive. The employees were in the parking lot, and what they saw an individual that was crouched behind the back of the business. The suspect was wearing all black clothing, actually had a black baseball cap on as well. The suspect charged at the victims, ran towards them, brandishing a handgun, and basically demanded their keys and their cell phones. The victims complied with the suspect's demands. The suspect then took a set of car keys that belonged to one of the victims and stole their 2006 Chevrolet Silver Impala. The suspect drove away. The employees immediately telephoned the police, who responded to the Olive Garden, actually got information about the incident, actually broadcasted what we call a be on the lookout to police officers throughout the city to be on the lookout for the suspect, as well as the suspect's vehicle also. Police officers from the west side, our Zone 4 zone, actually saw the suspect near Park Street and Blanding Boulevard. The officers got behind the suspect vehicle and attempted to conduct a traffic stop. The suspect refused to stop, and a pursuit was initiated at that time. As the pursuit continued and the suspect failed to stop, the area of Old Middleburg Road North, in the area of which would be to the north, Ed White High School, and to the south is going to be Hyde Grove Avenue. In that area there, about the 1700 block, the officers reported that the suspect had fired upon them while they were pursuing him. A little bit further down the road to the south, around the 1900 block, the officers actually initiated what we call a precision immobilization technique, which actually disabled the suspect's vehicle and caused him to crash in the yard. And that was pretty much near the intersection of Mimosa Grove Trail and North Old Middleburg Road. After the suspect crashed, the suspect got out of his car and continued to run. The officers fired upon the suspect. There's actually 4 officers that did discharge their weapons at the suspect. The suspect was not hit at all, continued to flee, and was actually found after the officers had established a perimeter and requested a canine unit. The canine unit actually found the suspect hiding in a driveway. There was no officers were injured. The only injuries to the suspect, and I'll identify him. That suspect is identified as Enrico Theodius Rhodes. He's a black male, 20 years of age. His injuries consisted of a puncture wound to the left hip, which was consistent with a canine bite, and he also complained of a headache. He's got a criminal history, but he's got 1 burglary arrest and other traffic charges against him, and presently he's been charged with 3 counts of individual robbery, as well as a carjacking arrest as well. Any questions?
Did he, after the dog bit him, did he threaten the officers in any way with his gun, or threaten to fire, or was there any resisting of arrest?
No, there was not. Once the canine basically found him in a driveway, one of the homes there on the street there, he was basically taken into custody. The canine did engage him. Like I said, it was a couple puncture wounds to the left hip.
And what's happening with the officers right now fired?
The officers basically, we will conduct an investigation into this matter. They have not been placed on administrative leave. Oftentimes, if we have an incident where police officers shoot and actually hit an individual, then they're placed on administrative leave. But whenever they shoot and miss, we take it on a case-by-case basis, so they'll continue their normal working duty.
Any other questions?
Is there any possibility he's involved in other carjackings that have not been solved?
Well, looking at our crime analysis information, there's no other carjackings to speak about. You should be getting copies of a police report as well for this. In the police report, it actually speaks about an older model green Oldsmobile, which was driven by a black female, which was seen before and after the incident itself. We do not know if it's related to this incident at this time, but if anybody has information out there, I encourage you to call the police or call Crime Stoppers to report that information. Another piece of information I'd like to give everybody is that in the 1700 block of Old Middleburg Road North, We actually recovered this morning a 9mm high point handgun. That handgun actually had 2 live rounds, and it actually had 1 round that basically had malfunction inside the chamber of the handgun. I do not know, I can't tell you with certainty whether or not that's the weapon or not. We'll have to do some things that we do with our laboratory to determine whether or not it is going to be associated with it. But that speaks hand in hand with what the officers communicated on the radio with the suspect discharging a weapon at them during the course of the pursuit.
Was the gun not found on the suspect when he was taken into custody?
It was not. There was no handgun found in the car or anywhere. That was the only handgun that was found. But like I said, that kind of puts it in the area. It's consistent with what the officers mentioned during the pursuit itself.
Is he cooperating at all? Did he give any type of motive or anything like that?
No, there wasn't any cooperation. He basically denied involvement. However, he was positively identified for committing the robbery.
And did he have any connection to the Olive Garden or any reason he targeted that area specifically?
I don't know that. He wasn't telling us as far as that goes, so I don't have that answer.
Any other questions? All right, thank you.
Thank you.